Welcome to another episode of the Love Hub channel where we give love relationship advice to women. In this video, we're going to discuss 8 tips on how to touch a guy, or 8 ways men like to be touched. Let's start the video. For topic requests and shoutout requests, please like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Tip number 1. Run your fingers through his hair. It is amazingly seductive and strangely intimate when a guy plays with your hair. Imagine being him, watching the woman he likes, staring up at him as she seductively runs her fingers through his hair. Even if he doesn't have any, the scalp is super sensitive and the gesture is endearing all the same. Because every man's hair is different and unique to him, it says something about him, complements his style, and expresses his individuality. When you show him that you adore his hair, he feels it in a special way because you're appreciating a very unique part of him. It's also a great way to build an intimate connection with a man because, as we all know, this is a place where very few people are allowed to touch. It's only an intimate partner that a guy would trust to let them touch in this place. So tip number 1, run your fingers through his hair or touch him on his head. Tip number 2, nibble on his neck. He loves it just as much as you do. So unleash your inner vampire and look at his neck with new eyes. Come up behind him and kiss him just below his ear. Nibble lightly on the back of his neck. Run your tongue slowly up the front and softly stroke around his hairline with your fingertips. It will surely drive him wild. Whether you do it while you're both in the kitchen making dinner or after you've gone to bed, this is something he simply won't be able to resist. Tip number 2, kiss him and nibble lightly on his neck. Tip number 3, tantalize his tongue with yours. There's nothing more sensual than playing with each other's tongues, especially when you're the one who initiates. It's intimate. Teasing can surely turn him on. Start by lying down on the bed and lightly licking his lower lips. Ask him to poke his tongue out and get ready to be creative, or be the one to initiate and kiss him long and hard with your own tongue. Circle your tongue around his. Gently suck it and pull back slightly. He'll be begging for more, and when you spice up your kissing life by tantalizing his tongue, so will you. Tip number 3, tantalize his tongue and be prepared for all that is to come. Tip number 4, whisper in his ear. Flick your tongue behind his earlobe in the crevice between the neck. Nibble, suck, and tug gently on his earlobe with your lips. Tell him he smells good or how much you love kissing him. Find out which ear is more sensitive and focus on that. Warning, sticking your tongue into or directly kissing his ear canal might annoy him and might have the opposite effect. So we suggest doing this very, very gently in a way as to tickle him but not to annoy him. Tip number 4, you can turn him on by whispering simple nothings into his ear or sexy suggestive messages. At the same time, by playing around with his earlobe, which most men like. Tip number 4, whisper and play with his ear. Tip number 5, tease his fingertips and his feet. Massaging and playing with each other's hands and feet can quickly turn into heated sex, even if you're initially doing it for relaxation or pure affection. Fingertips, especially, are extremely sensitive. Also, a perfect tool for teasing. When you play with his hands, stare into his eyes lovingly and slowly bring his fingers to your mouth. It's obvious which appendage he'll be reminded of. Start to lick and suck his fingers, and you'll soon take the anticipation to a point of no return. Tip number 5. Tease his fingertips and his feet. Some guys really love it when you play and tickle with his feet. Tip number 6. Take notice of his nipples and don't forget playing with them. Men have nipples too, and many of them love your touch. To find out if he does, start with slow, gentle touches and gauge his response, or straight out ask him if he likes it. Though his nipples might not be quite as sensitive as yours, it's likely they'll be up for a good time. Try different types of touching with your fingers and tongue, and communicate with your partner which one he likes best. Circle around his nipple, flick your tongue back and forth, or try a gentle bite. The most important thing is you are finding ways to pleasure him as well, and it's not all about him pleasuring you. He will surely enjoy this. Just make sure to ask him what kind of touch pleasures him the most. Tip number 6. Don't forget, never neglect his nipples. Tip number 7. Seduce his sacrum. When a guy is making love to you in a position where you're facing him, think about the areas of his body you love to grab in that moment of passion. His sacrum or lower back and butt come to mind. When you do this randomly during the day or during foreplay, he'll experience some of the same sensations as his mind fills with images of lovemaking with you. This kind of touch creates that delicious anticipation as he craves what will happen next. So tip number 7, seduce his sacrum. And tip number 8, find the F spot. His F spot or frenulum is the loose section of skin on the underside of his penis, where the head meets the shaft. It looks like a little V, and it's at the tip of that V that pleasure reigns supreme. It's very sensitive, so treat it as you'd like him to treat your clitoris, with a light touch until you know how he likes to be stimulated. When you combine all of these, you'll delve deeper sexually, and your connection with your partner will grow. The most important thing and message of all of these is to make sure to communicate with your partner what brings him the most joy and what brings him the most pleasure. In any relationship, it's important that both of you are happy, and for most men, sex is just part of what makes them happy and contented in a relationship. So if you want your relationship to be closer with a guy, you need to ask him what kind of touch does he like, or does he enjoy receiving from you? What does he want you to do more often? If you're able to do these for him, chances are he'll be likely to return the favor and give you the affectionate touches that you crave and that you deserve. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Love Hub channel. For topic requests and shoutout requests, please like this video, subscribe to the Love Hub channel, and comment down below. Again, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in our future videos.